back now on Triad today, and I know we're in the midst of sweltering heat, but it's also time to think about not only staying cool, but getting ready for school. A little bit of rhyme there, didn't mean it, but getting ready for the cost of higher education too and starting to plan. I don't know who better could help us through this topic than our special resident financial whiz and expert, Jim Seramba, managing partner, GreyOak Wealth Management. Welcome again, Jim.
Pleasure.
All right, we're planning ahead now. Let me first start out by asking you the big question. What is the normal cost of a college education today?
Well, actually, on a national average, a public university costs almost $10,500 per year, and that's just tuition and fees. That's not room and board.
Gosh.
For a private education like a Duke, Wake Forest, Harvard, the average is about $26,000, again, before, room and board.
Now, I know you've made sort of an informal study of these things because you're an expert in them, but would you say on balance that North Carolina colleges are a pretty good bargain, or how would you rate that?
Oh my goodness, it's probably one of the best benefits from living in North Carolina. The cost of going to, say, like UNC Chapel Hill is actually a little bit less than $4,000 for the tuition. And then when you throw room and board in, you're probably looking at about $11,000, $12,000 a year.
That is a bargain.
Oh, it is. Compared to the national average, it's really great, and we have excellent schools.
Now, in addition, we've gotten sort of straight on the cost. We know that private costs more than public, of course, we knew that. What about the rise of cost? How fast, I don't care whether you're in a private school or public school, how fast are these costs rising?
It's actually going up really quickly. It's rising about 6.5% per year. I remember when I was at Wake Forest getting my MBA, the cost of a class was about $1,700 per class, and by the time I graduated, it was over $2,100, and that was back in the mid to late 90s. So it's going up pretty quickly. It's mostly because of the echo boom, and there's a strain on the education system. So the implication for that, though, is that if people are saving money for college, when you adjust the rate of return on those savings by the inflation rate, it could be almost zero return to actually a negative return. So
people who thought, let me see if I get this straight, because sometimes I know you talk over my head, I'm kind of dumb on these things, but you're saying that if we just sat back and said, oh yeah, we're going to put some money away in a little savings account, we're already behind the curve almost immediately, right?
Oh, sure. If you're saving the money in a regular savings account between the inflation rate on education and taxes that you're paying, you're actually in a negative return.
All right, well, then let me ask the tough one. How can an average family even afford a college education? I mean, we all want this for our kids, but how can they afford it?
Well, I mean, the bottom line is you need to really look at a combination of savings and financial aid. And the savings should probably be done through a Section 529 plan account. It grow tax deferred, and we can talk about that at greater length.
Yeah, we're going to, for those of you, just a programming note, tune in a couple weeks and we're going to go into that, those kind of special accounts. But before we do that, you were going to finish up on another thought.
Well, basically those are great accounts to do, and then you can look at financial aid. A lot of people are ill prepared, and that's going to be a big factor here. There's two types of financial aid. There's, basically gift aid, which is scholarships and grants, and that's merit-based. And then there's self-aid, which is basically employment. There are employment opportunities in college. And then it's, low-interest loans. The problem with that is that's the bulk of financial aid today, so it's really kind of a misnomer. It's really low-interest loans that have to be paid back. So
that's not easy.
No, it's not.
Well, I can't wait until a couple weeks from now where we'll get into this more, but I think you gave us a lot of good information to think about. And on screen, of course, GreyOak Wealth Management's information. Jim Seramba, a great guy who keeps us posted on all these things and will make a difference for us, I think, if we listen to him on how we can prepare. So we know what we're up against now. Tune in a couple weeks and he'll give you some solutions. Thank you, James.
Oh, thank you.